Fifth question is, moving on, but staying a Bluebird to this day. So let me ask you, you work at Cardiff City. I often see you smiling, standing around and talking and making people's day, nice and comfortable, and you're still playing your part. Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, I've been in the commercial team now, for probably about 12 years now. Enjoy it day to day.
Yeah.
Selling your Premier seats and corporate hospitality, your boxes and things like that. Still having plenty of conversations with the fans about the old days and things like that. And I think it's nice to have Derek Brazil with us as well.
Oh, he's good.
He works on a match day, Derek, and he's so funny.
Yeah,
he's no different now than when he was back in the day, and that's the great thing about it. Gary Bell, another old stalwart there as well.
Gary.
It's nice. It's day to day doing your commercial duties, and then obviously you build up for your weekends then for the games. Obviously you can't play anymore. We're too old.
But you played up until what age did you play up till? You was at Barry, weren't you?
46 maybe.
Is that old man? Because your old man was playing when I was playing. I think he was in
my old man was playing till he was about 52, I think, something like that.
He was a better player up too.
Yeah, he could score goals.
Let me ask you something, Searles. It's not on there, but it's kind of an important point. I always talk to people. How did you find the transition from being a player, coming out with the sport, and then doing what you do now? Or I don't know if you had something in between, but certainly I think some people don't understand. I can remember it, and it was quite scary, if I'm honest with you.
Yeah.
Because you've got responsibilities. You had a young family, same as me, and you're thinking of other people too. It's quite a tough time, isn't it? It's quite stressful.
Yeah, I mean, the fact being that you're not on the wages the players on nowadays.
Yeah, absolutely.
If they're a footballer now, in the championship, say upwards, you make for life really, as long as you look after your pennies, you'll be fine. When I think the transition from full time to non-league. To part-time, to finding a job, and doing something else because your money isn't. You're trying to make your money up somewhere along the line. I left. I think it was Southend. I went to play for Chesterfield for a few months, just to help them out because they were short. Remember Lee Richardson, Nicky's brother?
Yeah.
Well, Rico was assistant manager with. I can't remember the manager's name now.
Can't help you out, mate. Can't help you out. You know my memory.
I know. But I went and helped them out for a bit, and then you're looking around. Then what you're going to do? Ended up playing for Forest Green for a bit. Did it in, and then I was working at Jeff White Motors on the corner. Couldn't sell cars. I was rubbish, mate. Knew nothing about cars, right? But I could talk football, and it was great because Jeff's a football man.
Yeah.
I'm thankful to him for giving me the opportunity to do something. That was via Blakey Mind.
Yeah, did he?
Jeff. And with Jeff up for me, which was quite nice. And then I bought my soccer school then, so I've got a soccer school as well called Little.
Yeah, it's good.
That's been going 12 years now.
Excellent.
So I bought that franchise, and then I was down the city one day, and you're still involved in football, but you say with my soccer school and part time and things like that, and you're like, what's going to happen and. You just don't know for the future. And then obviously the opportunity there was a job opportunity at the club. I went and had the interview, didn't think I got it. Never done an email in my life, Pez. But now I'm working off a computer.
You do know it was only you who went for the job, don't you?
Yeah. No one else, please apply. And then all of a sudden, then you fast forward. Then, like I say, I've been there 12 years now. I'm still enjoying it and enjoying the football and still being part of football. You're still having a bit of banter with the boys. I see you down on the radio, Blakey down on the radio. It's like you saw each other yesterday. Or been training. I bumped into Gavin Ward. I think he was goalkeeping coach.
Good.
Yeah. The big scud, yeah. Oh, hey, Searley, come and grab me. And he's still fit as a fiddle, mate. Honestly, he looks, he said, oh, he should be playing now. I think he's nearly 50 as well. And, but, you see a couple of the old boys and it's nice. You don't see anyone anymore. You don't speak to everyone all the time. And I think it's nice when you just get that opportunity. I know we had that little catch up a few years ago. When all the boys came down, Nicky Richardson, remember we had to get together?
Yeah, fantastic.
And I think it's important for that, for ex-players to still come down to the city and still be involved in it, and still feel part of it because they had, they played a big part in the history of the club.
Well, that's one of the reasons that drew me to Cardiff. I loved being at Cardiff City. Again, on record, I've said as soon as I left, it became a job, because the history, and I want the club to kind of be a little bit more active with that. As I said right at the start of this interview with your Don Murrays and your Gary Bells, I loved it when I was playing.
Yeah. I
enjoyed talking to them and listening about their stories and feeling as though I was part of something so big that, when you're representing this club that played Real Madrid and scared Real Madrid, when you've got Big Don Murray looking you in the eyes and you can tell that, this is hurting him, this result, if we lost. Or I've just made his weekend. Ronnie Bird, God bless him, again, that bit of football wit. I just feel it's so important. Yeah. And it says Bluebird to this day, then we need to protect our history. And not all history is gold. Not all history is about medals and winning. Some of the players that I can think of, and that's why I wouldn't do the top 5, some of them were at the times when Cardiff were at the lowest. And they get themselves off the treatment table and they would put the jersey on and they would scrap and fight and shed blood to keep the club in the league, to make sure that it had a future. For the players now that have enjoyed the success of the Premier League, that are enjoying the Championship, which is an incredible league, that they've got this because of some of those players prior. That when it weren't so many, when it was difficult, Searles, and we've had difficult times. We've got a Carlisle day of the game because I don't know if it was before your time. I can remember being outside and I got a call from the press going, look, Bez, I'm just pre-warning you, the bus ain't going to turn up. They haven't paid it again. Before your time, I think. They haven't paid it again. So, just to let you know. So you've got to scrap around. Somebody's trying to get it on their Visa card. Yeah. But those people that played in there, they've done their little bit to make sure that we are where we are. And that stadium is fantastic. The crowds in the Premier League is superb. And your new sets of fans is a different kind of audience now. But it's a real history to be proud of. It's a working class club. Yeah, and it's great to be part of it still. Like I say, working for the club it's me. It's what I do. Yeah, it's what I'm used to. Do you know what I mean? And I'm proud to be there. I can get 2 tickets sometimes from you when you're happy. When you take my calls. Hey, I've never turned your calls down. That's for sure. You've been good. I could ask you a question. As you said, now I do a little bit. I Monday to Friday I'm a lecturer. You wouldn't believe it, would you? Get all my qualifications. Well, the football side of it, Paynes, I've seen you coaching and everything, and it's very, very good. So I don't know what your schooling's part is. I'm even better. I would tell you it was an intelligent centre half. I'm going to ask you this question, Searles. I'm going to put that little thing on now because I am so blessed to be able to do this now. So I watch all the different managers, the different players, the different teams. Like you, I'm still involved in it. I just love being around the club. I'm asking you this because you played for the fella. Now, Dave Jones is the man I'm going to talk about because Dave took you to Stockport, I believe. Right? I'm correct in saying that? So I've done my research. It's always good, didn't I? So anyway, I felt that side with another manager would have got promotion. And sometimes I got to correct myself. So I'm a bit biased because I didn't like him. I found him ignorant at times, and talk down the derby, which to me is complete nonsense. It is the game that we wanted to win, and that. So used to wind them up as much as me and Blake's in front of the North Bank, that little stadium. So I just found it was a wasted opportunity for the club. It was a great side. Peter Whittingham, God bless him. Stephen McPhail, Adam Ramsey, Jason Kumars, Chopra, Boothroyd, and another great time. Getting to the question, what was he like? Was that him? What was he like as a coach, if you don't mind me asking? Yeah. And as a person who probably knew him better, because he would say that people don't know me, so I might be ignorant with that.
Yeah, I mean, I remember my first meeting with Dave. Myself and my wife Andrea went up to Stockport to meet him, and Sainty, the assistant manager, and he said, "Oh, welcome to Stockport County. We take in all waifs and strays." So straight away, because I went on a free transfer, it just made us chuckle. Straight away, it made us feel at ease. It was that kind of nice welcoming and everything else. I was one of them at that time, well, and still am a winner. I want to play every game. And I started playing for the team every game. And then after the first 7 or 8 games, it just wasn't happening. Just something wasn't working for our side at the time. Training was good, very technical and everything else. Yeah, we did a...
Tactically?
Sorry?
Tactically work on shape and...
Yeah. Playing from the back, getting it wide, overlaps, playing off the strikers. We did all that, even at Stockport. I think we were in League 2. But getting back to it, what I was saying about I wanted to play every game, but I didn't play every game. And that was frustrating for me, because everywhere I'd been before that, Cardiff, I played every game. And it just, all of a sudden, he brought in a couple of key players, a couple of players who weren't getting on at their clubs or weren't doing well at their clubs.
Good at that.
Yeah, he was, like Eddie was, picking a player.
Yeah.
Getting them into do, that's what Dave did. He was very good at that, and getting them for nothing, basically. Yeah. And it clicked, it turned, and we were that side, Stockport, that were winning every game every week. Yeah. And we won promotion that year. So that season I left Cardiff and Cardiff let me go, I went into a higher division, and we actually won promotion to go to the Championship. So obviously Southampton had seen that, and I think that's when Dave left and went to Southampton.
Ah, right, okay.
So I only had the 1 season with him, but I always remember going back when I went for the job interview.
Yeah.
And Dave was the manager, and I'm sat in reception, and he walked in and he went, "Searley, how are you doing?" I said, "Hi, Dave. Yeah, great, thanks." He said, "What are you doing here?" I said, "Oh, interview for the job." And he said to Suzanne Twamley, "Oh, Sue's just give him the job." Just like that. So maybe I got it because of that. I don't know, Pez, you know what I mean? But I'll always remember that, And even though I think Dave was one of them that he didn't want people to tell him what to say. Mm. And I think he'd be a little bit stubborn to go against the grain. So if you say, "Oh, amazing, this game today," and he might go, "Well, it's the same as any other game, really." That
he did.
And I think he didn't want words put into his mouth. Yeah. And I think Dave was his own man. Yeah. I know some people are saying, "Oh, just stand on the touchline doing this," and and not saying much and not animated enough. He wasn't Eddie. Yeah. Eddie was up. Yeah. He'd whack the dugout. He'd smash something. He'd throw something, and people
Lionhead.
Would go, "Yeah, big Lionhead." Break the tunnel. But he would come out and he would see that and he'd think, "Oh, he's passionate about it." Mm. Whereas Dave would be a different manager altogether. He wouldn't do that. But I'd remember if we were in the dressing rooms, and if you didn't do as he said, you'd be off. And if you didn't do it in training, then you'd be gone down the road. So he was quite cutthroat in that way, but you had to be as well, And I think at that time, like I say, I was only there for a season, but what he did at that time in that season worked. Do you know what I mean?
Good,
and so he got us playing a certain way, and then he just nudged that, put this in, and all of a sudden there's another player comes in from somewhere, and it clicked. And sometimes that happens when you're at a club as a player or a manager, and it just clicks, and everything starts coming together, and you keep winning and winning and winning,
Remember Wrexham away? It was a real good game that. We took thousands, filled the away end up. Decent away end they had. weren't a great time for my wife and family. I don't know if your family was there, 'cause it was spitting. They had them down near the dugout, to the right
That's
of the
right,
dugout, and
yeah.
Wrexham fans were above. But it was basic, because Wrexham were, I thought, a real good side. Brian Flynn's there, Gareth Owen, good pass of the ball, Gary Bennett.
Cal Connolly.
Yeah, Cal Connolly, great leap.
Jonathan Cross.
Yeah, it's decent. They give us a game, which is good for any team at that time, just to give us a game. Wouldn't going to beat us, but they give us a game. And we went there, if you remember, and beat them. And that kind of killed their hopes for winning that league. Can you remember that game?
Yeah.
Good.
I remember I think we played them 3 times in something like 10 days, because we played them twice in the Welsh Cup.
Yeah.
And it was like the semi-final was first home and away leg.
Yeah.
And I always remembered it. There was, I'd had a bit of a tough time against Jonathan Cross. And if you've probably spoken to Wayne Carter, he's probably mentioned it to you. Yes, he did, yeah. So I'll put it out there anyway. And he gave me a little bit of a torrid time, I think, at Ninian Park. And we went and played them again on the Wednesday. Was it a Wednesday night or a Tuesday night? Oh, you can't remember yesterday, can you?
No.
You thought we were supposed to do this yesterday.
Yeah, I've meant the ball too many times.
But he gave me a bit of a torrid time on one of my better games. And it probably would have been quite easy for Eddie to take me out to the side against, what happened on the Saturday. But he sat me down and he said, look, you can do this. You're better than that.
He's good at this.
And and I went and I played. He didn't have the better of me. I got the better of him.
Yeah.
And I always remember going out. We had the warm up, and we were in front of our own fans, and we were all doing the Ayatollah.
Yeah.
And I think there was a photograph of us all doing the Ayatollah in front of our fans. It was amazing. And that atmosphere on the day, I think we won 2-0.
Yeah.
I think Blakey scored.
Cohen scored?
Cohen scored, yeah. We were 2-0 up half time. I remember coming in, and Eddie kicked off.
Did he?
He went. And he was effing and jeffing, and he kicked the skip. The skip didn't move. And I was sat next to Blakey. And I did not laugh. I did not know pace. Because everyone was just looking across at each other. Only in the dressing room.
He's coming back. Yeah.
And you're looking across like that, and you're thinking,
that's it.
Don't laugh. And if someone goes, and you just, because he was going round, and he knocked the cups on the floor, and he booted the skip, and it didn't move. And we're like, oh my God, he's broken his toe. He must have broken his toe. And he was limping around the dressing room. He was still like ranting and raving, and we were 2-0 up away at Wrexham.
Brilliant.
And I even remember second half, Wrexham's old dugouts were like, you go to sit down, and it was concrete. And as we said, Eddie had a big lion head, didn't he? So he jumped up and cuffed the concrete, and I was taking a throw in. Oh, I was in bits, mate, honest to God. And he done it again. And someone must have gone off for a warm-up and just had to get out of the dugout and have a warm-up because they were laughing too much. But, I knew we were going to win. It was just one of those, again, we just turn up. Even if they were the home side, we just turn up and we knew we were going to win.
Yeah.
It was just, and I remember you and Gary Bennett.
Yeah, I still live back. Yeah.
I remember I think he was subbing that game, and he come on as if he was the big hero. Yeah. And you sorted him, Pez, so it didn't matter. And
he went in right pocket, and I juggled him and put him in the left one.
Wait, did you let anyone else out first? For the last game?
It was getting too full. I had to get Michelle to go and put some more in, but my shorts for me. Yeah. I can remember what I liked about him, and I loved about the old forwards. He would give as much as he'd take. He would leave one in on me. We would talk to each other, and I enjoyed those kind of battles. And after the game, I would always shake hands, and till the next time. Yeah. But there was no diving. There was no going over. as you know, you wanted to stand up because you didn't want to fall to the ground in front of your own fans. It's like, oh, that's a little bit of weakness there. I'm not rolling over, that's for sure. And to be fair, I think he scored something like 30 goals in the season.
Yeah.
Not against us. And yeah, he was decent running the channels. And then you got Connolly that would ping out. I tell you, mentioned Cohen. I was at Cohen's. Cohen made his debut at Huddersfield. And Cohen's another great player for us, wasn't he? Worked hard. So Len Ash just brought him in. 60,000, a lot of money then. So he comes in, and we never met him, and Len goes, Cohen Griffiths, Kettering, 60,000. Gonna score goals for you, gonna play. And Lethal Linex, remember Steve? Made a classic mistake before the team's being read out of putting his top and that on. And he went, and he'll wear number 7, which is your shirt sleeves, and take your top off. I'm like that going, lesson, never put jersey on before team red. Yeah, Cohen. He scored his debut. First few minutes of the game, first 20 minutes or so, beat them 3-2 at his field away.
The gangly Dianan, wasn't he? Adopted
got spider legs.
Oh.
He would shackle. He would work so hard, wouldn't he? He would come back and get his tackles in. So you had him there. You had Daly closing down, Stanty. I can remember when Daly and Paul Miller came. Again, it says a lot about our changing room. We played a practice game. Paul Miller, Irish Paul Miller, and Daly were up front. We put the ball over the top. Them two were running after the ball, but they were getting closer and closer. They were fighting each other. They got past the centre that to get the ball, to put the ball in the back of the net. And I'm thinking, oh, they're going to fit in all right, these two. They're winners, they are. And that was it, wasn't it? Oh, brilliant. Oh, good, man. And last one was anything you fancy. I think we've covered everything, son, haven't we?
I think so. I mean, it's great to get together, have a chat.
Yeah.
Been a long time. I know we do speak regular anyway, but it's nice to talk about old times and football and the good times. You know, the situation everyone's in at the moment on isolation and everything. It's and everyone's missing their football.
Yeah.
It's tough for everyone, really, but at least we got memories. Well, at least I can remember some of them.
You got memories to tell me. Yeah, good message to this. To everybody, stay inside, stay indoors, stay safe, isn't it? And you know, let's look forward to plenty more victories, promotions,
good times,
cheering. Yeah, the Cardiff City Stadium wouldn't change our timeline, mate. Absolutely fantastic. And just one last thing: where do you get the colour for your hair from? Come on, tell me.
You always say that, Pez.
Come on,
always.
It's a colour.
Listen, I promise you, it is not coloured.